Good afternoon, welcome, and thank you for joining us here with Family Network on Disabilities Family STAR program. STAR stands for Support, Training, Assistance, and Resources. My name is Latasha Bird, and I'll be your facilitator today. The Family STAR program is the Family to Family Health Information Center here in the state of Florida. We assist families of children and youth with special health care needs to make informed decisions about health care for their children. Our goal is to have families to become effective partners in healthcare decision making at all levels and report satisfaction with the services that they receive. One of the things that we do is to assist families with understanding access to community services that are organized so that families can use them easily. Today, you are here for one of our workshops, second in a series of 3 on parents as leaders. Today's workshop will be on starting online community groups. So let's go ahead and get into the webinar. We are here today for learning how to provide leadership online, learning how to start those groups online and being successful. If you have not seen our first in this video of 3, this is a great time to start back with the first video, which is how to start a support group. Today's video will be supporting those groups online parent leadership. So we want to say thank you again. Welcome. We're glad that you stopped by to find a little bit more information about our topics. We are a family-driven and family-centered organization right here in the state of Florida. We are a nonprofit 501c3 that's serving families within that capacity. And before we get started, we like you to know that we do not act as formal attorneys or doctors or even mental health professionals. However, what we do is to provide information and resources and support to families so that they can make informed decisions about their loved ones with disabilities. So again, thank you and welcome from our 3 regional PTIs and the Family STAR program. Let's go ahead and get started. You are here for Parents as Leaders, online parent leadership. This is the second in a 3-part series of understanding how to create those spaces for leadership and advocacy for our parents. Today's agenda will outline these 3 key points: outlining support group structures, e-etiquette, and also online communities. We would want you to have successful support groups, even if they are not face-to-face and they are online. So we've developed these few steps that will assist in sustaining and fulfilling that mission for you. Let's start with structure. So support groups and forums, they're designed to connect people who have a common cause. The internet serves as an incredibly useful tool for parents, for professionals, and even to have those connections with the community. And when done properly, the online support group can reach hundreds, even thousands of families. That outreach can be very tremendous. Even reaching professionals and individuals as well, and helping as many people as possible with minimal to even no cost. The purposes of your group would need to be decided. So you have to decide what type of support group you want to have. Is it specific to a specific disability? Is it just for families who have children who are elementary school age? Those online support groups can be as different from the topics that they cover and to the ways in which they cover them. Online support groups can be very different also than in-person support groups. And you want to narrow your focus down to what that common cause is going to look like. or you run the risk of losing members. So when it comes to coordinating different types of topics, research, and being able to have meaningful participation for your members, you want to make sure that all those themes, all the topic threads that are used, and all the resources that you're going to be sharing can be useful in some way, and they'll all be relative for all the members and not just a specific subset of members. So once you know that purpose of your overall group, you can move on to creating those fun things like choosing a name, and that's going to be easily associated with your purpose. So in choosing a name, you'll need to have something that makes you recognizable and identifiable. Take some time and have fun with it. You know, you want to have existing support group and want to be able that you would be able to be found in order to expand, especially in your efforts to have further engagement and recruit new members. So you want to have a host or domain. There's quite a few online hosts that you may choose to build your support group online. Some are at low cost, some are at no cost. We'll review a little later in the presentation how to get started. So figuring out what your market looks like, you will be able to advertise your support group. And it's particularly easy. And best of all, many of those different types of methods are still completely free. So you want to connect with agencies and let them know about the things that you are offering. And they may post a blurb about your group on their site. You can still even hand out flyers and even make virtual flyers to hand out as well about your online group and showing others how they may be able to join. And then finally, you want to test the climate. Test the climate. Online communication can be difficult because it lacks that ability to have social cues, especially if you're watching body language and facial expressions. So as a moderator of your online support group, you need to make sure that all of your families feel safe, all of your families feel secure in that space, and they feel welcome, and they feel like they can ask questions and participate online. So you often have to make sure that the content that you share as well is safe, and make sure that that content is also appropriate and relative to the members in your group. So with having those online communities, I'll give you a couple of examples that you probably have already heard for, but let's talk about a few of them at any rate. There's Yahoo, which allows you to create online support groups and provides an easy email-only forum. This can be a very good way to start a simple online group, just as well as having posts that are good for reading reading about those issues that you want to discuss, and posting things that might include resources and announcements and shared experiences, lived experiences, and upcoming events, and the like, all of those different things. Word of mouth on doctors and schools and other public services. And good thing about Yahoo is that it is a free resource. There's also Groupbox. That's another free resource that can be used for starting online support groups, and has features, more features than what that traditional online support group would look like. And a few of the features would include what is called a group wall, different bulletins. There's a news feed, discussion boards, have live chats, and more. These things are probably pretty common right now. You want to think in terms of how they could be used to support the issues that you want to promote and discuss. There's also Windows Live, and it offers the same opportunities as Yahoo does for an online support group, but the only difference is that you can't exceed 1,000 members. So Windows Live gives you that cap right at 1,000. There's also a group called Ning, N-I-N-G. That's a free social networking tool, has a huge list of options for creating your online support group. You can create and customize a group page that has different types of attributes, such as blogs, comments. You can post pictures, put videos, and then there's a place for events as well. You can also allow the members to create customized profiles of their own and then message and communicate with other members. It's Ning, N-I-N-G. Sometimes the schools will even have different types of ways that you can reach them online through communities as well. But oftentimes schools can't advocate for assistance or change that system. They look to parents, they look to families, they look to for community members for the support that they would be able to have. Think in terms, PTA, that's one way. Now these sites, they can be used for your support group and keep parents connected in ways that schools can't because of all of those restrictions. For some districts, if you think in terms of what you can and cannot do on a school campus, for some districts, for some schools, districts are prohibited to use Facebook and Twitter. And parents are not prohibited and use these sites as a communication portal for announcements of school and community happenings and needs, but you might not be able to use them at that specific facility. So you want to think in terms of your reach as well and where you would be able to access that community should there be restrictions in place. We did discuss earlier Facebook and Twitter. Let's talk about Facebook. So Facebook is a great way to promote your support group as well. And there's a group for that. You come up with a quick, witty little name, and there's a way to find other people who have a community such as yourself. There are ways to be able to find people who have those same issues that are interested in being a part of the group that you are putting it together. So it's a way to promote your social group and support each other, expand your membership and connect with other parents and even self-advocates and professionals in related fields as well. Now with the Facebook group, you can target specific parent groups and audiences and learn about analyzing the data and insightful information and be able to promote your group's activities and a lot of other types of things. There are even courses that you can take according to the type of page you want to set up and what you want your engagement to look like. And all of those can be found on Facebook. If you use the search button and help, this is a way that you can find out how to utilize all of those back page tools that are available with Facebook. Twitter is one as well. That's the top networking site for building loyalty and building a strong following with support group members. You are well aware to be able to find your tribe on Twitter. It's great for passing along quick information as well, and quick resources to others. It also serves as a great newsreel. You can find things that are happening very quickly on Twitter. LinkedIn is one of the useful tools we have in social media sites today, especially when it comes to finding other professionals and similar industries. You can also use Pinterest. Now, that's another fast-growing social network that you could use. Pinterest actually started out as an invitation-only online network, but it grew within the same year to be one of the most visited sites on the web. And one of the most attractive things that can be found about Pinterest is that the fact that it relies completely on visuals, Everything from, say you might have needed a gluten-free recipe or ideas for a backyard or something to that aesthetic. Everything begins with a picture on Pinterest. And the site's primarily for sharing resources, services, information, and through those visuals, it's turned out to be extremely resourceful and easy to use. And then thinking in terms of what that online community, in the sense of community in that broad sense, you want to think in terms of what it looks like to actually have that group. Meetup is one of the ways that you can even be virtual and retain some of those aspects that are still common in face-to-face. So Meetup offers opportunities to hence meet up with people who have those same interests. So these are all great online communities that you can take a look at, and if so willing, start your online community groups with one of those easy to use platforms. So now we want to talk about netiquette. So we want to say this is etiquette for the internet, hence the number netiquette. So with social media, it's all about establishing and building relationships, whether it's personal or business connections. Sometimes that line gets a little blurry between personal and business, and what is the proper etiquette to use, especially let's say that we're going to use Facebook or other social media outlets and other online support groups. Well, it's important to be able to use social networking wisely and exercise good judgment in any one of those instances. You want to be mindful of the posts that you make, especially when you're friending or you're tweeting a support group or tweeting about members and families. You have all kind of people there. You have people that have varying backgrounds, varying beliefs, varying jobs, different personalities. It's very, very easy to offend someone, especially with something that you might think is funny, like posting a picture or a slogan, or even updating your status with a general content where you feel is harmless to you, but offensive to someone else. So you want to be careful about posting those opinions on delicate, sensitive, or even those hot topics or support group happenings, whether it's an event or even an individual. Having that anonymity and that comfort and safe space within a support group is one of the reasons that people come together for that mutual support. So please remember that while you should be able to share your resources, share factual information, share opinions, and share those suggestions that you may have in an online support group, there's a fine line between sharing an opinion and enforcing your ideas, enforcing those beliefs. And we have to remember to be respectful and be mindful of others, especially when those thoughts and beliefs might differ from yours. And if a parent or a professional wants to post something that you completely disagree with, you as the moderator of that group have to be fair and post such things as long as the information is appropriate and still relevant to the topic. You can also take a minute to message privately. And although you may live your life with an open book type of mentality and that attitude that everything is on the limit, you want to think in terms of sharing what those most intimate secrets would look like, what those stories would entail, what those opinions might do to the person who may be involved in some of those stories or opinions. Others may not feel the same way. So if you're in a support group and the members want to share more intimate details about their experiences or even connect outside of that group, they should exchange personal information privately. It's better for the group, and no one should be posting about their personal information in open forums, running the risk of further intimidation or other tactics that could be used to harm them in the same way that they were looking to find support. We want to be mindful of messaging, being mindful of sharing, and also being mindful of sharing at a time where you may teeter on over posting. So some people, they can become post happy. They found a place that works for them. They found a place that seems accepting, and they want to share and share and share. Like, many people can become notorious for over posting on social media sites and in those other online support groups. You want to be conscious of the fact that people take their participation seriously, and while they're interested in receiving and having those shared stories and resources, they don't want their emails bogged down or with other emails. But that would be a great time to support a group member in a different aspect. without having to find out every intimate detail about those things that you have going on in your life. So it's just a fine line. We want to find balance in each one of those instances and make sure we maintain a positive net etiquette. Thinking about your language and grammar, not shouting and writing in all capital letters, and addressing those recipients. If you're addressing and especially using an email, even though we live in a chat society, writing a formal email or having a formal salutation can go a long way. You addressing an email to someone by using their name, and sending an email more formally, or even with a chat message, could go a long way. It might just brighten someone's day because it's something that they might not see at a lot of times. We want to make sure that you are mindful of your subject and mindful of the references, especially when you're using email. Email is just like a conversation. You can enter a message, reference in the subject line. You can follow that correspondence with a thread of those previous messages. You've used an email inbox before, you know, not to start a new message when you're not replying to one. You just want to keep that thread going, especially if you're looking for solutions within a thread, and you can use that as a reference. So we want to think about keeping everything short and simple, but keep in mind that your recipient has time that is valuable to them, being valuable of their time. People can very well be just as busy as you are, and no one wants to read a long email unless it was requested and expected. Of course, we want to try to keep it short and sweet and to the point if possible. However, you don't want to skip over any necessary information, especially if you're relying on that email and it requires certain research. So these are a couple of the things that we want you to keep in mind when you're starting online support groups. So on behalf of the Family Star program and our 3 regional PTIs under our family organization, the Family Network on Disabilities, we invite you to join us in our social media groups as well, and also on our website at www.fndusa.org. We want to again say thank you. And should you need to contact us at the Family Network on Disabilities, you can do so at 1-800-825-5736. Again, that number is 1-800-825-5736. And with that, we just wanted to say again, thank you for joining us for part 2 in a 3-part series of Parents as Leaders. This topic was starting online communities, online support groups. Should you need to get in touch with us, please do so with the information you received in today's presentation. And we will talk to you soon. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye-bye.